Got that July bag in from MONSTERBASS. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Fishing with Gramps right here on YouTube. If you're looking for tips, tricks, reviews, how-tos, tackle unboxings, and lots of bass fishing, hey, you've come to the right spot. Got the July Regional Pro Bag in. Pro Bag. Not a box. Not a useless box that you have to collect and do nothing with, that you go throw in your fire pit and burn a couple of times a month. Nope. Handy dandy tackle bags. You can take and sort your soft plastics in several of these bags, or you can have a quick go bag just like this. You can throw it in a knapsack, go do some pond fishing, grab a couple of these like I do and throw them in the back of a kayak and go fish a kayak tournament. Makes it nice and easy. So again, I love the bags instead of a useless box, but let's take a look at what we got this month. And again, one of the things I love about MONSTERBASS, it's based on where you live and how you fish. I live in the Midwest here in southern Indiana. I fish out of a kayak and boat. So let's see what they hooked me up with this month. We're starting right out the gate with my nemesis, the frog. One of my goals for this year is to catch many fish on a frog. I've had many blow-ups. Still haven't caught a good one on a frog. We have a buzz frog from Blitz Lures. Got a yellow bottom with some red highlights, red accents, some green floppy legs. Guessing this is supposed to mimic kind of like the Rage flappers. Get you a lot of top water action. It's a hollow body frog. Ooh, nice, really sharp hooks. It's really soft and squishy. I mean, I can see a fish getting down on this. I'm actually fishing a kayak tournament this weekend. I'm gonna definitely have this tied on. The place I'm gonna be fishing's got a lot of grass in certain areas, and you can't get over the top of anything without something like this. So we'll give this a shot. Weird little floppy legs, but we'll see. It should be a nice little combination. I have to skip this under some overhangs and things like that too. But it is frog season, so they nailed the first. Bruiser baits, the Bruiser Cruiser. Says it's 4 inches long, weighs a ½ ounce, dives 2 to 4 feet. Kind of a translucent clear crankbait. Should come through clear water really nice. Should look good in it. Good, look at that. They call it the Ghost. Got red eyes, nice paint job. Got a rattle chamber and really sticky, sharp hooks. Yeah, sharp hooks are right. These are mustad hooks. It says here on the box. That's a good looking crankbait. Now that I got the boat ready, I'll be using these crankbaits a whole lot more. Here is another. This is a shallower looking diving crankbait. Wild looking colors. Kingfisher Custom Lure. Another 2 to 4 foot diving crankbait. These have BKK hooks in them. I don't throw a whole lot of crankbaits, but I throw most, I stick with more traditional stuff, either clear or, black as chartreuse, something like this. But this is kind of a pinkish on the bottom, a little white and chartreusey on the side, and like a purple on the top. But, hey, you may get a fish to bite something like this just because it's something a little bit different. The body shape is different as well. So this could be a new concept bait. I know Rick said that they were going to be releasing some baits that we haven't seen before and will be launching at ICAST. So this might be one of those, but I'm sure there's a time and a place for a bait like this. I would say probably a little more stained color when you're looking for a different contrast and things like that. Definitely, obviously not a clear water kind of thing, but stained to dirty, this might be something that looks a little bit different and stands out a little different too. So we'll have to see what we catch on this thing. Next up, we got the MONSTERBASS branded tungsten jig. This is a mustad hook, I believe, with their tungsten weight. And if you haven't seen these in action by anybody else yet, I'm going to post a link to my video right here where I caught some nice fish using this jig and the X-Zone Adrenaline Crawl that came in one of the previous bags. But when they released these jigs, I'm a guy who loves throwing jigs, I ordered some of these up and have already caught several fish on these jigs. I love the tiny little football head. The jig itself weighs what a normal jig would. It's just a smaller profile, which I really love. And what do I see they paired it up with? Some big bite baits. Now, I really wasn't big into big bite baits and even X-Zone until I started getting the MONSTERBASS bags. And once I started using their baits, I started buying more. And notice this ain't no sample pack. That's a whole bag of big bite baits, and it's full. Now, if you've only started fishing in the last, say 5 to 7, maybe 8 years, you may not recognize a double-tail hula grub. But fans of Gary Yamamoto from several years ago will be very, very... I was fishing with those baits that were styled like this, I don't know, back in the late 90s. Man, those things are soft. You would take these and put them on a little plain jig head and catch the mess out of fish. Back then, these were real popular along with single-tail grubs, but it's nice to see somebody bringing these back because they make a perfect trailer for especially small little tungsten weights like this. Now, you might pair these up together, or you might snip the hula skirt off of these and pair these two up together, or do like what I will probably most likely do is grab some more football heads and fish these just like they are. Let that skirt head and this soft body plastic do what it's meant to do and basically act like an unskirted jig, because that hula skirt does the same thing, except it flows in the water just a little bit differently than the silicone or rubber on a traditional jig would. But these are some good baits and you will catch some fish on them. Next up, we got a 3-pack of Ned heads. I don't know what it is about the Ned rig, but these things just catch fish. I keep saying that a traditional Ned rig, the bass has to think it's a duck turd. There's no other explanation for it. But that being said, the next two baits that we got can be fish Ned, or even on a drop shot or maybe a shaky head. So from Z Bait Company, we got a little hand-poured worm called the Twig. It's a little bit longer than a traditional Ned, but you can sure throw it that way. But based on how soft this thing is, it could even be fished as a tiny little wacky or Nico rig, depending how finicky those fish are, or on a drop shot. I think this thing will shine in any of those methods of fishing. But this is a Monster Bass exclusive Goby color, so you're only going to find these in the Monster Bass bag. Next up, another company I'm glad to see in the bag. Like I said, Big Bite Baits and X-Zone, two companies I hadn't messed with at all until I started getting the Monster Bass bag, are both in the bag again this month. And when it's summer, when it's hot, when the fishing is kind of slowed down, and we need to slow down our techniques as well. Now this one says it's a green pumpkin with blue fleck, but it's a dark green pumpkin. So with as much blue flake in this, I mean, I almost think I can throw this in clear water or stained water. Not super dirty water, but the blue and the green pumpkin are really good combinations. But again, I've been loving me some X-Zone. I just got in an order from X-Zone of more adrenaline craws, because I absolutely love the pack of adrenaline craws that I got in that previous Monster Bass bag, and the timing of it was perfect because that thing was a greenish color with lots of red in it. The time those cicadas were falling off the trees and into the water, and I threw those things on the back of a Monster Bass jig up under those trees where those cicadas were falling in, and I was catching bass. So I got some more of that color. I got some more natural ones in the green pumpkin, and then I got a bunch of black and blue. So I'm loaded up on adrenaline craws. So I'll have those things for Texas rigs, on the back of jigs, and something else I think I'm going to try is on the back of a jackhammer. It's got all kinds of action. Maybe I'll be able to put that on one of those cross-eyes jackhammers and kind of swim it through some timber a little better. Just something to think about. So what did I think about all the baits in there? I'll be honest with you guys, I loved all of the baits, except for maybe not really sold on the Freak with its purple chartreuse, pink and white. But I've been wrong before, who knows? I could end up catching the damn biggest bass of the year on this thing. I'm skeptical all the time, but it seems like every time I catch a damn fish on the thing. And I'm like, okay, they knew what they were talking about. But, you know, I ain't saying I'm tying this on first, but we'll throw it on at some point in time. Knowing me, I'll catch a damn 4-pounder on it. As always, we have the cool little fold out that talks about the various baits and all the other things going on at Monster Bass. This month on the front cover of the little handout, we got Justin Clark, JC Drop Shot. I know he's like a drop shot kind of dude, but I love watching his frog videos because that dude can skip some frogs up under some stuff. I was sitting there, I found this one video, I must have watched it like 6 times, and I kept repeating the spot where he would just take this frog and zip it up under this brush a bunch of times, and I was like, I really hadn't thought about fishing it that way. I've always just thought, oh, you know, throw a frog over grass, over pads, and slowly do this and that. No, he was zipping this stuff in the back of brush and all that too. So because I actually saw that video, I'm actually gonna tie a frog on my skipping rod and maybe do some of that, some open water, throwing back in brush, throwing back in them, you know, underhangs, instead of just on my frog rod where I've got braid and pull those around pads and stuff like that too. So even watching some of his videos, it's kind of inspired me to think outside the box a little more instead of skipping a jig in places. This time of year when it's hot, maybe take a frog, maybe take that frog and skip it up under some laydowns, especially when the sun gets up a little bit, maybe pull some of those fish out of those shady spots. Then of course inside they got all the prices and everything listed, and you got all the Monster Bass pros. Those guys got together not long ago up north and did a bunch of fishing, so we're expecting to see a whole bunch of cool videos coming out of all that. But it's nice to see, again, not YouTubers that are trying to become fishermen, but fishermen who also happen to YouTube. That's the kind of content I like to see. Now, don't get me wrong, I like watching young YouTubers grow up learning how to fish and doing all that too. But what I don't really care for is the salesman for some other of the tackle places who have guys that are basically pimping their products and don't really, they're kind of learning the craft or the trade as they go. I hate harping on that, because the first generation of guys that was like that, they were the grinders, they were the bass anglers, they were the guys making pretty cool fishing videos, versus just a bunch of salesmen on YouTube pushing product, when a lot of the times they really don't even know what they're talking about. But again, I love seeing genuine folks that are either experienced anglers sharing what they know with other folks, or new anglers that are learning as they go and just happen to be filming themselves while they're doing it. They're not out there pimping products. They are just out fishing, learning, and having a good time, truly enjoying bass fishing for what it is. Now, on the back, they're talking about a couple of different things, which I want to go over because, to me, this is what sets Monster Bass apart. Not just the products and the brands and the people they work with, not the YouTubers that are experienced anglers that they have, but some of the cool things that about it, too. The Big Bass Championship. Hey, man, get in on that. It's on Tourney X. You can fish from the bank, you can fish from your kayak, you can fish it from a boat. Just need a hard measuring board to be able to do it. It's only 10 bucks if you're not a subscriber, because a lot of people may not subscribe to the bundles. They may just use the VIP. Oh, speaking of the VIP, sign up for the VIP list. You can save so much money, it's stupid. That's what drew me to Monster Bass the first time, and I actually just, well, I'll get to that in a minute. Monster Bass Live. Almost every Thursday, they go live and they have different guests on. Sometimes it's the folks that are Monster Bass pros. But man, we've had Skeet Reese. We've had Kevin Van Dam. We've had all kinds of bass pros on there. And we've had bigger and even upcoming YouTubers on there. We've had Chad Hoover from Kayak Bass Fishing, who I love to see. He's a fellow veteran. He runs the Kayak Bass Fishing League, which is awesome. I mean, they took something completely different and basically made a tournament level series for kayak bass anglers. This week he's got a new guest coming up that will probably... Somebody's doing burnouts coming up my hill again. It's one thing when you live out in the sticks. These guys, they can't go out on the streets and have enough motor in their damn truck to do a burnout. They got to come out here and get on a hill so they can kind of roll back a little bit and get a run. But hey, what can you do? But on Monster Bass Live this coming week, it's a really cool guest that, you know, kind of started fishing with his dad and grew from there. But it should be a really cool... But during the live this week, make sure you have your golden ticket. They'll be doing drawings as usual. One of the things I want to talk about is Monster Bass customer support. I had a hat just like this one that accidentally got mailed out, and it was in a little paper envelope instead of a box. And that's not the way they normally do things, because I've ordered other hats from there. But I got a smashed hat in an envelope that, you know, it was a mistake by somebody in shipping. But I just dropped a comment back and was like, hey, you know, I got a hat and it was crushed. It didn't come in a box, and I wasn't really expecting that. I got reached out to by Rick at Monster Bass saying that's not how we do things. We're going to send you and they did. You know, I got a brand new hat in a box, boom, and good to go. I mean, they respect the fact that they're not BASS shipping out those stupid little, you know, packages when you join with the hat that's all smashed down in with the magazine and a little tackle bag. No, I pride myself in my hats. You know, that's just part of my... Hats are part of my thing. And I want a good, solid hat that, you know... And I like the Monster Bass hats. Get the black cap. Okay, so I like the Monster Bass. We'll get to that in a minute. So again, they talk about the Monster Bass Challenge. And they talk about some of the other stuff that are on special. And this month's golden ticket. And then we got some stickers. Got one from Z-Bait Co. That's really kind of cool. And another one that's kind of near and dear to my heart. Love me some America. Now, I kept talking about like some other stuff like I did order some other stuff. I love the VIP code, but then they put out a new Monster Bass Nation hat. And I love this camo pattern. Why? Because this is the pattern of camo that I wore when I was in the Army back in the 80s and the 90s. I love my black camo. but this is near and dear to my heart. So I got me a Monster Bass Nation hat. And they finally got back in and restocked the Monster Bass tungsten weights. And I have been wanting some more. I got one little bundle of these, and I've been watching for like all the different little individual packs to come in. But I have been wanting some more. So I got like 8 packs of the Monster Bass tungsten. But I had loved the Daiichi, I guess these are the standout hooks. I think this is a company that's under Daiichi. But I love these standout drop shot hooks. So I ordered 2 more packs of these, which is a good thing I did because we got 2 more sets of baits that we can drop shot with. So hey, you can't beat that. That's it for the July box. Now I want your honest feedback because I want to provide this stuff back to Rick, Rafi, and the crew at Monster Bass. What do you guys think? I mean, for me, I can take this stuff and go out and fish the kayak tournament and feel confident that I'm going to catch fish with it. A combination of the stuff I've got in the Monster Bass bags since I think from April till now would literally fill up my kayak with everything I need. Jigs, well, I say everything I need with the exception of one, and that's a chatterbait because the chatterbait is my thing. But, you know, Monster Bass works with Z-Man as well. It's just they can't get their hands on chatterbaits because chatterbaits are sold out everywhere else. But maybe we'll see them. But Monster Bass has got all kinds of other products from Z-Man in their store that you can always check out as well. But for me, like I said, the only thing I didn't really care for was maybe that one crankbait. But who knows, I could be proven wrong on it. But everything else right there, jig, crankbaits, a frog, Ned rig stuff. Tell me I couldn't take those out and go catch a bass today. So drop me a comment down below. What's your favorite bait out of this bundle? Is it the Bruiser Cruiser? Is it the Freak? The Monster Bass Tungsten Jig? Is it the Cool Frog? What do you think about the Twig? The Ned Zone? Man, those things are soft. I've got to go get me. I'm going to throw these on a little football head. Yeah. Ooh. It's like the Big Bite bait sauce. So drop me a comment down below. Tell me what's your favorite. Hey, do me a favor and hit the like button if you like content like this. Give it a share if you want. But most importantly, throw me a comment down below. I love the feedback. I love the comments from everybody. I love the day-to-day chit-chat in the comment section. It's awesome. And as always, get outside when you can. Hey, grab a buddy. Go make some memories. One cast at a time.